Do we have cards for the players? So we have new driver, first time participant. Submitted a lot of cheap Steam games. I like the submissions.
Yeah, I have been really excited about new driver's submissions. I'm also really excited about Chaos Defrost's profile picture because I think it might be the best in this tournament.
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember seeing it in previous tournaments because Chaos Defrost has been here for longer than I have. Joined in MT12. Has a 610 record. Just pretty decent.
This placement, so 610 is like less than 50-50, which with the quality of gamers isn't really a hit to Chaos Defrost. Placement of 17th, though, despite that record, is pretty fantastic. And if Chaos Defrost can go on a sort of streak like they did back in MT14, it will need to go through new driver, but this is the start of a long run. I do believe this is a loser's match, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, someone's going home. I mean, they're already home, but they'll stay home without playing an MT officially.
I'm looking at this pace bin, and it scares me. There's a lot of buttons.
Yeah, this game has a lot of mechanics. It's like Japanese freeware games usually tend to like doing that. They put a thousand mechanics and then you have to figure out what is worth using.
I'm with you, Bright Shadow. It's been an extended weekend for me, and the idea of going out sounds interesting, but going out does not sound interesting.
Yes, exactly.
Especially with both this and also GDQ. I was watching the Breath of the Wild speedrun, and it is glitched out of its mind these days. It's actually quite interesting because they did it back in 2019, and like half the glitches that they used back then are still being used, but they found basically double of what they're up to. They're just ragdolling everywhere, flying everywhere. Link is now a flying game.
Cyber Outside has been an abstract concept for me for like 3 years now. I think I went outside since like 2020, maybe 20 times or something.
Seems low, but presumably you work from home.
Yeah.
The zoomer saying touch grass. Do suggest it. It's pretty great. How far are they into Kuso, Bright Shadow? I know that we've seen, the more I watch Kuso at this point, the more faces show up for Mystery Tournament, because it turns out people who game a lot in Mystery Tournament are also good at Kuso, and when you get deeper into the bracket, it just means that you get more good gamers. Round 4. Yeah, that sounds about right. Rajada, do you know if you're playing against any other familiar faces from Mystery Tournament today? I always like the Kuso setup where you have 4 people racing, and the clock ticks down instead of up. It's a very different flavor of the same sort of thing that we're doing here over on Percentage's stream. Oh, nice. Let's go, Zimbo. It looks like our race is about to get started.
Yeah, and
The
then
good luck.
new
Good luck's
driver has
coming.
set itself to ready, but then closed the game, which is confusing. So it's a good thing that we're holding it up. I think I'll at least wait for him to get to the title screen, but in the meantime, we can show what the game is. Our game is Lethal Crisis. If you had never heard of this before, I hadn't either, so
I mean, you've been the one who submitted it, so at the end of the day, you're gonna be our expert. Japanese run and gunner.
pretty much, yeah. You have a lot of guns and a lot of different attacks. One thing that this game does, which is a bit controversial, is you have an energy system, and once your energy is deplenished, you can't do anything. Like you can't attack, you can't double jump. I don't know why they limited your ability to move, but okay.
Putting your fun in another way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen, especially with some of the newer submissions, and especially with a lot of backup, the games that people seem to really like in this community are platformers where you have a button that makes you go faster. If that's a button that makes you fart and then you get an extra dash, or if that's a button that makes you roll and then, or like jump far, but then you get to potentially jump into a pit, or whatever mechanic it ends up being. We're seeing a lot of that, and I think it makes sense. Race is starting. Did we confirm good audio, by the way?
Yeah, Chaos the Frost said they had clean audio.
Perfect.
Are we going to
New driver,
Ah.
by the way. I learned today. It's not a computer driver. It's new driver, as in car driving.
Yeah, that's what the saying commonly is, right? NewDrvrPlzBePtnt when you're in the streets. I never got to say that because I just got rejected on all my driving tests.
I failed my driving test the first time, and it was pathetic. It turns out if somebody is crossing the street with a white cane, you should stop for them.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
I was incredibly nervous for something that should have been straightforward, because otherwise I've been good at testing. And new driver's already failed the mission.
Well,
I think new driver might be having some controller issues, to be honest. They were talking about changing to Joystick, which is a way that you can make a keyboard game into a controller game, and they don't seem particularly confident like moving around the menus right now. Yeah, they're moving into config. Looking at Chaos side though, did we just jump into a pit and that was the correct way to go?
yeah, but usually there are arrows indicating that you need to go down, or I don't remember if there are any pits that kill you.
Okay, so there's a bunch of enemies on screen. Your job is to fly straight down and ignore them, apparently. Does the energy that you're collecting, because you said it's important for movement, refresh between levels?
It refreshes it refreshes once you stop doing anything. And yeah, the dash in this game is pretty OP. I ended up submitting. This is the second game I submitted like this because I also submitted Unaki Reaction, which was that Mega Man game in which every boss was weak to roll because roll was stupidly broken. And this game is dash, it's stupidly broken.
Yeah, dashes that do damage kind of always have that possibility. So this looks like a boss fight that the boss isn't really fighting back. They're swinging, but I don't really believe in it.
The bosses actually get difficult later, but yeah, this one isn't doing much of anything.
Yeah, so I think the big thing here, well, we're only going to be watching Chaos Defrost, but with the amount of options you have for attacking and movement, it's going to be a question of how much exploration of the game and what the game will allow you to do, and what buttons are going to actually be effective. That's going to be the difference. Zenek is our mod for this, and thank goodness, because with the controller issues that NewDrvr's having, we definitely are going to be having a retime, and having somebody who's paying attention is important.
So while you do fly over everything with the dash, you also, if you get hit by something, you lose damage, and the later stages are going to have a lot of enemies. So this is not just about dashing through everything, it's also about dashing through everything in a pattern that lets you avoid everything. So that's the main skill that this game is testing. Yeah, kills the frost dying there.
So Chaos has been taught that pits sometimes are progression, and now we jump into the pit, and the pit results in us immediately dying. I don't blame him. Okay, I just saw the arrow on NewDrvr. But NewDrvr's playing it a lot more patient than Chaos did on his first level.
Yeah, I don't believe playing patiently is really the way to go for this game. Maybe for the last level it is, but for these early levels you do want to just go. It's always a difficult thing to determine how fast the game allows you to go, because you either go too fast and then the game forces you to stop, or you go too slow and then you go a bit faster as time goes on. But I do think that our strongest competitors, they tend to go fast first and then only stop if the game forces them to.
Yeah. If watching Andy has taught us anything, and Andy's won like half of these things, just ignore enemies, go quick, use all the options you have until you die once, and then just be really good at games is the other secret, which is maybe the harder part. Okay, new biome, and presumably new level for Chaos Defrost. And it looks a bit more crowded, a bit more like able to see what the path is probably going to be, compared to just flying around in the open like we were in the first level. So maybe a bit more comfortable to be able to just know where you're going and be able to move there quickly.
Oh, nice shortcut. Didn't want to go around. I don't know if that actually saved any time, but it looked cool.
Okay, given how quickly this game is getting noisy on Chaos Defrost, and we're quite early in the race, there's just going to be a lot on the screen by the end of this game, isn't there?
Yeah, I didn't know it started at the enemy spam. This game doesn't have a lot of stages. It's maybe 6 stages around there, but it starts getting hard. I'm not sure if it's 6, so don't hold me to that. It's just a small number.
Yeah, the goals beat the demo. Have you played the full game by chance?
No, I didn't want to spend money on this game, but I think I didn't spend money because I couldn't. That for a lot of these Japanese freeware, you can't actually find the game even if you want to, which is a bit annoying.
It looks like we are going to see a boss defeated by NewDrvr, just because of the amount of health that NewDrvr has. I think this might have been a slower fight, but they've really guaranteed their victory, and I think that's going to be healthy if there's future bosses where NewDrvr is learning ways to not get hit. Now that I say that, they've just lost 700 health, but
Yeah,
That's why
the
you don't talk
usual.
about. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
lost
now they
all of
die.
their health.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I talk. Racers would go so much faster if they weren't being streamed and being commentated on.
True. And
This is
that's
a
one thing in the basement that when you die, you can activate like super mode, and then you get your HP back. I don't know if NewDriver forgot about that mechanic because he could have made a last ditch effort there.
yeah. As a reminder, so we have Chaos Defrost on what is the second boss, while NewDriver's on the first boss. NewDriver does have a pretty healthy retime though, because of controller issues there at the start of this race. I do think Chaos Defrost, especially since they defeated the first boss in the first try, and we're being a bit more brave on the first platforming level, is still the leader. But just keep in mind that what is on screen isn't necessarily the race standings.
A NewDriver has about a 3-minute free time, which is a pretty long time for a short game like this.
Chaos Defrost just kept on hitting the boss, and I think it like had a juggling mechanic where it feels like the boss was not allowed to die until you stopped hitting them.
At 25 life too. I thought Chaos Defrost was dead, and then they weren't. Clutch.
Another clutch actually. NewDriver gets it with 110 out of their like 1,000 plus health. This is kind of shaping up to be a game where if they're gonna be this close on the boss fights in the future and the bosses are gonna get harder, that this might just be a boss fight race with some nice little platforming in between.
Some nice
Okay,
little dashing.
NewDriver found the go quick button.
Oh, this level is just complete enemy spam.
Yeah, Mario Maker, if Mario Maker is allowed to be only Americans making games. How did we end up in that pit? What? We went through a wall. There was a nice, like, wall there that said don't go through it. But then when we went through a wall, can you just dash through walls in this game?
Don't think so.
I don't know what happened to NewDriver then. It feels like they might have glitched it. It's like not much time loss because they just they spent like 10 seconds to get there. But I'm very confused what just happened. Is there any mechanical reason to like kill these guys? Do you get more money or collectibles or something? More score?
Yeah, you get score, but I'm not sure that killing these guys gives you anything else. Oh, it actually gives you money that you can use to buy. You can use a score to buy new weapons at the shop, but that's banned for this race, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, it's so much noise going on in Chaos Defrost, but as long as you're moving right and not taking hits, I think you're doing quite well. Or, I say right, it doesn't seem to always be right.
Yeah, keep going forward. They're handling this quite well. I mean, yeah, at 100 health, but this is actually pretty hard to do with all these enemies.
And when you respawn, are we respawning at the next screen, or...?
You respawn at the start of the stage.
Okay, so... getting quite hopeful here. Doing well to clear enemies, and this door looks like it's locked. Is Chaos right in that it was enemy locked, or do we need to find a key?
Yes, one of the enemies holds a key.
Oh, well, good. One of the enemies holds a key. That's again Mario Maker.
Yeah, very Mario Maker. Mario Maker copied from Lethal Crisis.
Yeah, 100%. It is actually interesting because when you have the creators of levels on Mario Maker, they're basically first-time devs, and it's not like we don't have first-time devs showing up in our pool of games here too. And the instinct of putting lots of things on screen or using mechanics that you've seen from other games that you enjoyed and then implementing them worse. Mario Maker might actually be one of the better games to just like be good at and then come into Mystery Tournament and be able to play, because you will have seen a lot of the sort of garbage that we have to deal with here too.
Yeah, the game is kind of like the proto platformer. It has so many platformer staples, and yeah, right, Shadow. The Chaos Frost just got melted by that laser. One hit kill. You don't want to get hit by those lasers. So fun fact, this is actually not a first time developer, this is a sequel, so it's a second time developer. And the first game in the series was actually in top 8 in a previous Mystery Tournament, which is how I found it.
Nice.
It was called Lethal Application. But then we didn't want to submit it because we had even more enemy spam than this, and even the testers couldn't beat it.
I do like a top 8 game where we went, and we can't beat it, but we're just gonna be Maurice versus Andy. They can deal with it. Just send it.
Yeah, it's top 8. They can do whatever.
Or we give them a really easy game, and we just get to see what optimization looks like. Really easy being dependent. I found out today. I was looking at the sheet. The Hello Kitty game that we had. We've had a few show up, but the flower game where you get to change the platforms of the top 8 game, and it's the sort of game where you can absolutely just optimize everything when you're given just a little bit of control. Chaos Defrost, there's so much on screen, and Chaos Defrost is only just being part of the mayhem by just continually dashing over and over again. Oh. Is it is it always the big thing with extra health that has the key, or?
Yeah, you see the key marker in the health bar of the flying enemy. I don't know if you noticed, but there is a key on the left of the health bar.
I definitely would notice that live, and there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So in this case, it's a flying enemy, which makes sense as it's the most annoying enemy to deal with. It's usually the last one you kill.
Oh, and this guy teleports too, or something stupid. Okay. Much more healthy though for Chaos. We're still got over half our hit points when at this point last time we were struggling.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well here. Now there's a final laser spam to end the stage. Oh, no. Nice dashing down. Oh no. Lasered.
No. That's so brutal. That's so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the situation, now that we know that you want to avoid, is running out of energy, because being able to quickly dash in and out with the laser, or worst case scenario, if you like ends up on the ground and you can't like confidently jump into the air.
Right, that part is mean.
Everything else seems to be trivial now.
Because like, you want to be walking on the ground, so you save your energy to dodge lasers, but then there's a laser right on the ground, so you need to react to it fast.
The laser's not an enemy. There's nobody to kill to prevent the laser from happening. It's just part of the stage, right?
Yeah, you just got lasered from somewhere.
Does this look like Chaos Defrost has figured out that there's a character that has the key? It's just hard to actually act on. Okay, here come the lasers.
Yes, should be saving the energy now. Oh, didn't.
Or
Oh, wow.
survive
I think
this
you can
and
make it,
I'll-
yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Finish the chaos. New driver's just trying to deal with a hallway just full of stuff, and by playing it slowly and not just using the dash and the damage, I think is just spending more time taking chip damage. A death on their side, progression for chaos, and while we do have a read time, I'm gonna confidently say that chaos is in the lead currently.
Yeah, definitely. New driver needs to clear stage 4 and then clear the complete mess that is stage 5. That's probably going to take more than 3 minutes. But this is, I believe, the final boss of the goal.
Already, wow. Okay, we found out where the laser was coming from. It's this green-haired gal who has a gun that shoots many different things, but none of them friendly. I think Chaos is doing a really good job with this. Beyond the fact that we have no health. But the boss is going down quickly. I'm pretty confident Chaos is going to be able to get next, if not this try, in the next few tries.
Has clutched the boss with 25 health before, so...
60 this time. Boss has 100, third
The
time 60,
combos.
and yeah, clean, good combo. Let's... Yep. The way the boss fell off the screen in like 3 little movements instead of just falling in one movement or stable, just very funny to me for no reason.
That was really funny. I don't remember if I noticed that the last time. So we do have a read time here, but yeah, I don't think New Driver can do this.
Yeah, and just clinical stuff there from Chaos Defrost. They ran into some issues, but really just learned immediately what those issues were and acted upon them. And as a result, they have presumably won this race. New driver would need to see the dot done, know that they have a read time, and then just go absolute ham. And I don't even think it's possible, even if you had speedrun strats at this point. But I am curious to see what a more normal gameplay looks like of this game, because Chaos wasn't that. It was so noisy, so quick.
Yeah, I believe that's what normal gameplay of this game looks like. Maybe do you even want to kill these enemies even if you aren't racing? Because it just seems like you lose more health than
It looked like you were able to attack the fire with your sword, which is a curious. Yeah. Okay. No, you can't stop these. Appears like, or if you can, there's just too many of them, and your sword doesn't have enough frames.
Yeah, like here, New Driver took 400 damage, and Chaos Defrost just went.
The rock.
Yeah, and took no damage. So racing might actually be the better strategy, even if you're just trying to survive.
Yeah, we don't have too many people racing this game this morning, but we do see a forfeit from one of the fun time racers. Curious to see if New Driver will continue trucking along here. If they die in the exact same spot they died last time, this spooky hallway.
So now New Driver has 1 minute, and it's not really going fast.
Yeah, they've made it into a walking game when this is clearly a fly and boost and mash all the buttons really quickly game.
Exactly.
In retrospect, at least.
Kelsey Frost says in their comment, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's mashing. It's very much a masher's game.
And mission failed. So that's definitely the nail in the coffin here.
to start. Oh no, you started to start at stage 4? That's mean. I thought you would start at the boss.
Yeah, so whenever we get like a short race like this and we're looking at an 18-minute time, and I think they were probably 3 or 4 minutes, this could have been a race where it could have been done under 15 if you played perfectly. And then you realize how long this game could take if you lose to a boss and have to restart the whole level. I think there's a lot of variance in how this race can go. New Driver just hadn't found the secret of go really quickly so you can't take chip damage. Instead, they have found a secret of have shadow clones.
Shadow clones that take off your health.
Yeah, I was gonna say this ticking is very concerning from the health bar. Are you meant to bring them out at a boss fight or something? Because doing it at the beginning of a platforming stage didn't seem like a good idea at all.
Yeah, you're meant to bring them at the end of a platforming stage. Like, for example, at that laser section, if you get killed by the lasers, you can shadow and try to have one last attempt. But then you have to know it's the end. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise you're just wasting extra time when you could just be restarting the beginning of the stage.
Yeah.
This fire enemy that starts the level does so much damage, by the way. The enemies that do damage versus like the environmental stuff, the fire and the lasers, it varies pretty dramatically. Either that or Chaos Defrost just made this look really easy when it's not.
I think that's just using a wrong strategy of trying to kill things instead of just dashing.
Dash also just give you like attack frames that just stop the damage for most things that aren't laser.
Yeah, the dash is an attack, so it's not just a dash.
It's not helpful because it's your opponent, but if I was in a race and I saw somebody who wasn't in the race finished at 18 minutes, and I don't feel like I'm particularly close to finishing, not that we have the end of the demo in like the goal, we don't know how long the game is if you're a new driver, but seeing somebody finish so quickly when I feel like I'm struggling would give me a bit of confidence to go, okay, at least somebody's going really quickly through this. Maybe that was actually the way that I should have been doing this the whole time.
Actually, I mean, for me, it just tilts me when I see someone finishing fast and I'm struggling. I'm like, oh my god, I suck. But yeah, that your approach seems healthier.
I mean, the real secret is just go fast all the time, but the second best step is if you're seeing the IRC. I think there's a good argument to really just kind of mentally, if not just physically, block the IRC and then get yelled at when you don't read the first comment that says that you missed an orb.
Yeah, everyone missed an orb in that game.
Oh, the goal does say 6 stages, so yeah, if you're on stage 4 and you saw somebody finish early and you're like, wait a second, you could have reached the end of stage 6 by now, and you don't think that could have even been possible with how quickly you're going through the levels, maybe it's time to speed it up. Yes, Mari saying in chat there, or missed the comment that the game is being redrawn, need to stop. You never have to stop. If you want to enjoy a game that your opponent can't play, who's gonna stop you? The answer is only you. I'm gonna go look at the schedule. We can keep new driver and this game looks so much harder when you play it slowly and not just dashing everywhere, just because of the dash blocking attacks. This is not being redrawn. Do not worry, TKTC. We've got a lot of matches coming up though in the future, and let's just confirm it. Okay, so we have looks like a triple match in 15 minutes. We should be seeing that getting started here shortly. We have another match right after that. We have another match 2 hours after that. I believe there's another match that isn't on the schedule for a remake of Adam versus, I'm going to say, Snowdozer, which they didn't put on the schedule, but had to be rescheduled after Snowdozer's internet was rough on, I'm going to say, Wednesday. So we got a lot of mystery tournament here coming up. I wonder, did you ever try and reach out to Chaos to see if they wanted to come on mic?
I didn't, because I can't actually pull people inside the chat, and then it would be a bit awkward if I said, do you want to come to commentary? And then they said yes, and then I can't do it.
Okay, looks like Zenix's doing it for us anyways, so if anybody in chat is paying attention and we see him ready to come in, please open the door for us because we're locked inside here. This game is so mean if you play it slowly. Chaos just ran an absolute clinic, and I didn't realize it at the time because the gameplay was so loud. It just kind of looked chaotic. But I don't think New Driver is necessarily doing this wrong. It's just Chaos did it so right.
Oh my god, this game is so mean if you're playing it slow. Just gets stun locked by 1,000 bullets.
Chaos, first thing I want to say is GG's. Second thing I want to say is your profile picture is amazing.
What'd you say?
Your profile picture is fantastic. Also GG's.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, and also, thank you.
So
when I looked at this game, I was like...
Go for it. No, go for it.
So yeah, when I was looking at the game, I'm like, okay, this might not be something I'm particularly good at, but then while I was playing it, I just realized mash dash. Hit attack while in an enemy's hitbox, mash dash, hit enemy. Just keep doing this over and over again, and this destroys everything.
Yeah,
that just pretty much got me through the entire game.
you put it as your comment. It was what I was going to mention too. It turns out if the attack does damage and attacking things blocks the attacks, that is a really good button to find immediately. Not to mention it was also the go fast button.
Yes, mash the go fast button, mash the attack button, and kind of... That's pretty much how I played the entire game. And I think my biggest time loss was accidentally selecting level 1 at one point when I was trying to select level 5 and not being able to figure out how to get the level select, so I just played level 1 anyways.
Yeah, we're watching New Driver, who's still on World 4. They've just been playing it more methodically, and as a result, when you're not just throwing out attacks the whole time, this game's actually a lot harder than you made it look. You played that really well. We didn't have like a bunch of people racing it, so you can see like a lot of times to compare to, but I think you would have done well against basically anybody and everybody.
Yeah, my thought process for this game was, well, okay, in the first stage it kind of teaches you dash does this. Okay, you can dash through the level very quickly. The first boss, stage 2, oh, you can just dash attack into the boss. Okay then, well, let's just keep doing this and see if it still works. And as it turns out, I kept doing this and it still worked.
New drivers found something that you didn't find, by the way. The
Yep.
shadow spawns. They just cleared a boss, and I'm gonna say less than 10 seconds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really nice stuff there from what's otherwise been a bit of a struggle. Just this game is quite hard if you are fighting each enemy one at a time and not just dashing all over their face. With this, I do believe this is losers, so you will continue on and continue to
Yep.
be on your last life as it stands. But we were looking at your card. Your best so far was 17th.
Yeah, that was a bizarre winners run where I won my first 3 games, got to winners 4 and lost by 4.5 hours. It's not a joke. That is what happened.
Have you ever forfeited a race in an MT? Because
A couple, unfortunately. One earlier this MT was a ball game that my brain just couldn't comprehend anything it was doing.
yeah, I remember that game was silly. But
My
like
opponent
the
was
PSP game.
incredibly good at it. Yeah, that my opponent was incredibly good at it. Like he beat everybody by almost an hour, so no shame losing there. Honestly, that was just an incredible performance.
Yeah, with this MT, if you're gonna recreate some magic, if you're gonna be getting to 17th or further, what sort of games are you looking for?
When am I getting my golf in MT?
Golf or mini golf?
Either.
Either. Back in my day, I used to do in-person equivalents to mystery tournaments, and we'd have sports day, and I spent a full day just being handed golf games. While everybody else is like having a game of Madden or doing something wacky, like you'd see the sort of things that we saw in our Nest stuff. I'm just here playing different variants of golf. I think the least golfy game I had was the Kirby put the Kirby in the hole game, and that was still very much golf.
Kirby Golf. Yes, I have played more of that game than I'd like to admit. So.
Oh, so new drivers reached what is presumably your favorite thing, the large laser.
Oh yeah, that took me out a few times. Danger! Oh shoot, I'm dashing too fast. Oh, you can't get. You can't get.
Was there some sort of audio cue or something that told you the laser?
There's a
was coming?
big old flashing danger on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, the tick rate on that laser is absurd. This game is not a friendly game.
Yeah, the tick rate on the laser there. If you take it to the face, it will kill you. It will kill you. It will just kill you. You're just dead. You're just dead. Restart level 5. Okay, good.
Realizing that the submitter is in the call with us, FFAO. This is the time that you can say it. You really enjoyed the game, and it was a really good submission if you want to.
Yeah, no, this game was fun. I think in the full version. I mean, this looks like a demo, so like the full version of the game. Maybe my face tank mash attack tactic in levels. There are levels where that wouldn't work. I think would be interesting. It like I did very much enjoy the game. I think and there's a lot of like frantic. Oh, this feels good to get just do that. But I do think that in the harder levels, if there are harder levels in this game, I do kind of want that tactic to not work in certain stages. So.
Yeah, I'm curious what the full game even looks like, because they're going to struggle to put more things on the screen. But if things start taking more hits to kill, that wouldn't actually slow you down, because you're not ever stopping to kill them.
Well, I kind of have to stop occasionally because your energy runs out eventually, so you have to kind of stand on the floor when there's a break in the patterns. Okay, energy's back up. So yeah, I did definitely take into.
I do appreciate you joining us. I'm not kicking you out or anything. We are going to be getting our next match though in hopefully the next few minutes, or at least a give game.
Okay.
And watching New Driver this laser is not any friendlier when you just have to see it more. Because if you're not dashing through
No,
the whole
it
level
gets
over and
worse,
over again,
honestly.
I think it
Yeah,
does
no,
it get bigger or like
it just it gets more. This is where the game expects you to be. So we're gonna put a laser here, and that's more for what it is.
Do you know about the shadow clone to keep going button? By the way, was that ever a thing that was in your thought process or considerations?
Yeah, pretty much always, honestly. Also, my internet looks like it's. Let me cut stream real quick. 1 second. My stream's been not great. One moment.
Happy that it happened now and not during the race, because it would have been really sad to watch the performance that you put on and then have it be ruined by internet issues. So it's been good.
Yeah, I was having. Because honestly, if you're all right with it, I'd be fine with calming some stuff today. It's something I've kind of been wanting to break into here, and I'd be down to do it every so often.
I think the next match might have a double, so
Okay. Cool.
having an extra pair of eyes doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world too.
Yep.
Okay, reading through what's happening on the Discord, it looks like they're getting ready to be ready. It might be a little bit of setup here, because it's at minimum going to be a double match, which means 4 players. Setup's been taking a bit less, because everybody knows how to mystery tournament here now. We're out of the first few rounds, but
All right. Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. New driver, just get over the wall. Just go.
Just dash button, dash button, dash button, dash button, dash button.
Needs to get the key first.
Yeah, the keys.
Yeah.
The key is the key, and I think this was the moment that could have. This key could have been the thing that would have potentially slowed you down, Chaos, because you hadn't really fought anything beyond the bosses the whole time.
Yeah, this did slow me down, honestly, because I had to realize, this thing that teleports away from you is kind of a mid-boss of the stage. And I did beat this once and then get lasered, so I was like, yeah. Because the screen after this boss, there's a very laser section that is very okay. Yeah, New Driver should just be doing this the whole time, basically.
Whee! There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not already, by the way, feel free to be watching the FFAO's provided stream over the stream itself. Oh goodness, chat talking. We were talking about your 4 hours playing a game. You've been beat. 11 hours there on Snowboard Kids, 7 hours on Toka 2. The
11 hours on Snowboard Kids, jeez. That game is yeah.
I've not been in Mystery Tournament more than this particular one, but I know that I'm just gonna be a quick forfeiter if given the opportunity. But the idea of being one of those people who just never forfeits, I do really like the romantic idea of. And on that note, New Driver has raised the white flag here with 40 minutes, just in time for us to hopefully have a new game and something else to talk about.
Alright, sounds good. But yeah, I'm one of those people who kind of wanted to be no forfeits at the first, and then I had to forfeit the match I got eliminated in my first MT on because I'd spent 3 hours on it, and it was 1 a.m. and I had work the next day. So it's like I can't justify keeping on playing this.
Brilliant comment here from New Driver saying, "Can't wait to play the full game." Yeah, big GG's to both of you. You'll be the one who moves
GG
forward,
forward?
but yeah, with new drivers forfeit, the race is formally over. But we have a new give game. We have new people looking to get into some fisticuffs,
All right.
and new games to be pulled.
Have a give game. Exciting stuff.
Yes, I will forewarn you. You've pulled an ID, and you do have a loud keyboard.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. I will not type.
It's not
I
a.
will
It's
keep
not.
that in
It's not
mind
a.
and will not type while commentating.
Yeah, while you're talking yourself, maybe not. But I love these like what's the word for the? Is it just mechanical for these fancy keyboards?
It's one of these keyboards that make the loud noises. I don't know what the word for that is. It's a keyboard that makes loud noises.
Like
Also, I do have a slightly cramped stream setup, so
they're more expensive though, right? Like you're paying for the ticky tacky.
yeah, it's
Well, now you just can do some ASMR. We have nothing better to talk about. Okay, so I assume that you're getting the cards ready there, FFAO? Or at least attempting to, got the discussions about it. It looks like it's going to be Kurt Q versus Cabbage Hat, and then Aspion was the game puller, so their match, and then the Shoe Horse versus Socrates is being delayed for our sanity here in the booth.
Do you know who Aspion's opponent is?
I can quickly figure it out. Thought I could quickly figure it out. How did it? I don't remember what they reflect in challenge because it's not Aspion.